So the any roles that you have identified that you are going to prioritize or fix that. And then the second one is on our municipalities. Our municipalities are a challenge, especially regarding the reform of the AG. And then in appointing your mayor, especially in Mangaung, what are you looking for? Is political credential enough, or are you going to look for something more in appointing the mayor so that we have successful municipalities?
All right, thank you. So I think let us allow Mr. Tinani. Your question was directed to the Premier, and your question, sir, was directed to the Premier. Okay, let us allow the people to respond before we take another round of questions. Meanwhile, colleagues can prepare themselves to ask for another round of questions. I will go over to you, Premier.
Thank you. The process of dealing with revision of the growth and development strategy started and continues, as I said. And in the process, as we have emphasized, that active participation of the people is key. And therefore, one of the things that we will engage on will be all the stakeholders, and we are mindful of the fact that an informed participation is also key to having a program or a strategy that speaks to the challenges facing the Free State. So we'll engage all the stakeholders, including the Fourth Estate. The question that of the roads. We are a province, as I said in the statement, that we are right at the center of the country. And if the Free State is not functioning, just like a kidney, you're bound to have a sick economy in many ways, especially for South Africa. So it is important for us to make sure that our roads, as you crisscross, you're moving from Gauteng to Natal, you're bound to go through our province. Anyway, so our roads have become death traps, and it is for that reason that we focusing, working with also Sanral and others to ensure that all our roads, the resources permitting, are prioritized. At the moment, we have identified some of the roads, especially from Lady Brand to Bethlehem. That is one road that needs to be fixed, but also the road that links Gauteng with Maseru is a very key road that needs to be attended to. The R30 road that also is actually a spine to our agricultural community is important. So those are the things that we need to look into, and the roads that we need to attend to. And what was the other issue?
Candidate criteria for selecting an unknown candidate.
There are many things that are very key. Your experience, your passion, the understanding of local government, your commitment in doing that, in serving the people, and the love of the people would actually make a person, a credible candidate for the mayorship. So we hope that by, as this is not the part of our speech, but the party will make an announcement very soon on the matter. The process has been completed, and the party will make an announcement.
Right, next round. Thank you very much, Premier, for those responses. Next round of questions. We'll take around 5 questions. 1, 2, 3,
Mariki is this side.
For Mariki. Mariki, I was wondering where our good friend Mariki. Mariki, can you just perhaps come a bit closer? I can't see you that side. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and so can we just take perhaps you'll get another chance. Let's start with you, sir. Thanks. Let's remember, first introduce yourself, who you are and which media house you're representing, so that the Premier and the Speaker and the delegation understands who they're talking to. Thank you very much.
Oh, my name is Jimmy Makohoshi. I'm from the Central TV. I have 2 questions. Premier, thank you for your beautiful speech. And my first question would be, Premier, there are, a year ago, the President came to the province and opened the Vereeniging Road. And until to date, that road is still closed and no communication. And then the very same day, he went to also open the Motheo Tibet College. Until today, that place it's not open as yet. So we really want to get clarity from the government point of view. And then the second thing that I want to ask the Premier, as far as government is concerned, we have so many departments that has your acting HODs and so forth and whatnot. And then as far as the government is concerned, how long will it take you to have those maybe position filled? And then as I am closing from the media point of view, okay, let me not ask it.
Can we also just summarize our questions? Perhaps just one question. Let's summarize. Let's not try and ask too many questions at once. Let's deal with one question at a time, so that we give other people a chance. Let's start at the back. Yes.
Biggs P from Free State Online channel.
Yes.
My question to the Premier is quite simple. In terms of employment creation, Mr. Premier, what are the plans that are there, and to also assist, the SMMEs in creating, jobs, particularly for young people in the province? What are plans that you have maybe to tackle the issue of unemployment? Thank you.
My name is Lucky Linyehelo from Enterprise Media. My question to the Premier is, we are living in a digitally connected world, in digital economy. Are there plans to integrate the Free State as a province into a digital system as far as processes are concerned to maybe maximize on efficiency and of skills and services? Thank you.
Thanks.
My question is directed to the Premier. My name is Deborah Masakana from English newspaper. Premier, you mentioned completing the 11,000 complete houses. Can you give us a time frame on when are those 11,000 complete houses? When are you expecting to complete them? And then the 36,000 houses across the province with asbestos roof, can we get a time frame on when do you expect them to be removed or replaced? To be removed, to have the asbestos roof removed? Thank you.
Thanks. Lastly but not least, Namali.
Good afternoon. Premier, Marieke Gericke, Volksblad and Netwerk 24. You've mentioned that you've testified before the Zondo Commission in the past yourself, and that you said now that you are going to deal with the outcomes of the Zondo Commission report in the Free State, that you're also going to make an end of the corruption in the Free State. Can you perhaps elaborate on this Zondo Commission report and what are you going to do about this in the Free
Thank you for those questions. Let us allow the Premier to respond.
There are questions that do not have to be responded to here. They belong somewhere. The acting, let me correct that we have DG, if my mind serves me well, it is the roads department and sports department that have acting and social development. And there are processes afoot to make sure that we have, you will remember that we had also gone through the process of interview, etc., especially in the Department of Sports, and some technicalities are also. We will deal with those matters and finalize and make sure that we've got a administration that functions and people in positions so that we have stability in government. The other issue that is very important, you have mentioned so many other issues, and I would have to check exactly what could be what we are raising. When the President was here, and the Vereeniging Road, and then also the Motheo College. So I must admit that I would not be honest in responding to you if I think that I know exactly what could be the challenge. So we will deal with those and find out and come back and report. Unemployment is actually a scourge that must be dealt with. But in dealing with that scourge, we also need commitment from our young people. All of us would like to be employed. You get a child who goes to school, gets a master's degree, and believes that the only way the child can actually do something is when you are employed in government. And I think we need to have a change of mindset that we must educate job creators. Our children, our youth coming in, our graduates must also be job creators. They must go out there and create opportunities for others. You can't just, when we're growing up, that you go to school for you to get a job. But we need to change that. Go to school, create and learn skills that will help you create more jobs. There are opportunities out there. But nevertheless, we still have to reskill, as I said there many months ago, that there is a disjuncture in what we are producing in our universities and what is required by our market. So we need to close that gap, and that is the gap that actually creates an element of unemployment in our case. And we need to deal with that so that there is that balance in what we produce in terms of skill sets and what is required by the market. But also we need to tap into agriculture. For the longest of time, the Free State has been the biggest producer, the largest producer of grain. And but because of shifting interest, you have now the producers and the farmers focusing more on producing what is enough for the export market. So we need to bring young people into farming so that we change and we're able to bring about food security as a province, having young people participating in this new gold, which is agriculture. It will be there as long as you have people who eat. There will be a need for us to produce and also to make sure investigate the use of hemp in making sure that we are able to produce fabric, and then make sure that we've got a strong textile industry. We've got many young people, designers, etc., that are that are there, out there, they need the support. I think what we need to do as the Free Staters is to begin to consume what we produce and change the attitude that we have and support one another in order to make sure that we fight the element of unemployment that is destroying many lives at the moment. We also need to ensure we are a youthful province. So the issue, especially in the creative industries, is very important. It's our focus in the creative industry. I was just saying that in Nigeria, when many of us, many years ago, could be 15 or so years, we were laughing at what they were doing when they had these short guys producing stories and telling the stories and selling these things on the street. Today, the film industry in Nigeria is the biggest. It employs, second biggest employer in the country, just behind the government. And we have that potential. We've got producers, we've got creators of stories, and people who can begin to tell our stories in our language, in many other things, so that we begin to understand ourselves and respect ourselves. In doing that, we would also be creating more jobs, in all these things. We need to, as a province, we need also to look into the establishment of a channel, a provincial channel for that matter. This has been a decision a long time in one of the ANC conferences that at least you must have 2 provincial channels. So we've got many others that we can look into, and unfortunately we do not have to start afresh. There are many of you who have already started that journey. Ours is how do we work together in making sure we have a strong channel that will begin to address issues that affect us and start addressing all other things that our young people are really worried about. Digitalization, I mean, the world is changing, the world is fast changing, and we can't be left behind. And it is that we need to look into. The digital economy is very important also. So part of creating that digital migration, especially in terms of service delivery and others, these are some of the things, and we will invite some of you with your creative minds to approach government, and let's work together in making sure that we have an efficient and capable government that is modern in terms of the trends that are there. So we can't be just be a government that is lagging behind, and even now we are using paper and following. So we need really to improve. And there are some other challenges with the SETA that we need to deal with in order to unlock and unblock this particular interest. This is a big one. As I'll say, if you check the Free State as the position of the province, if you look into your fiber optic cable network, your undersea cables, all your fiber, undersea cables run through the province in the western, from the Western Cape, from the Zilfontein. You have many of these, like your WACS, your Africa Connecting Europe, S83. They run through the province, and we have EASY and SECOM in the east, and from Tunzin they run through the province. So it is for us to tap into this. Once they get into a province like the Gauteng that is endowed with this infrastructure, ours is to really make sure that we build an ecosystem that will be unequal in the world, looking at the advantage that we have, and that will kickstart a big industry in the creative arts, in many other things. So we need really to think out of the box and do things differently for us to do this. And I'm looking forward to a moment when we will not be having people who would ask questions only, but people who will say, we have this idea, how about us looking at this idea instead of asking questions and then afterwards these questions are forgotten. So we need to walk this journey together where you would be able to come up with proposals, and we look into this and make sure that we've got a functioning province, a province that looks after its youth, and a province that cares for its elderly. And the incomplete houses and asbestos, as we said, this financial year, we need to make sure that there is work, and part of this must be completed. And during this in the next financial year, 23, 24, and as we move, as we deal with this. Then the implementation plan, Mariki. We said we have completed the implementation plan. We have submitted this implementation plan, and it is for us in this province to make sure that we implement that so that we curb the occurrence or the reoccurrence of activities such as those where our people are exposed or become vulnerable to chances that we see where people start engaging in issues that they should not be engaging in. And the minute we reduce the demand of what is happening, people look at corruption and think that corruption deals with you stealing and all that. There is a lot that is actually that needs to stop. You have a worker in the employ of our administration, whether it's in the municipality or in the province, in any department, who will go to work and will not do anything for the whole day, and will be in the office but not do anything for the whole day and go home. But to her or to him, it doesn't see anything wrong. But at the end of the month, you get a salary, and you don't see that as something wrong. So we need to bring in that agency and that sense of responsibility to all people who are working for the state, who are working for government, so that they know that as you enter your office, you need to work. As you do whatever you're supposed to do, people must actually feel that you are adding value and you are helping our people. So corruption is very broad, and we should not just limit it to people stealing. There are those who are doing things when they're supposed to work during the hours that they are given, and they are not doing the work, and they wait up until they work for overtime. And we've got supervisors that allow that, despite the fact that the law stipulates how the overtime should be attended to. But people find a way of manipulating the system. But also, we must not also undermine the issue that people find themselves in wrong careers, and that frustrates them. So once we all of us are pushed to careers that we feel trapped and we are unable to fulfill our potential, there is no human being who does not have a hunger to do much better than themselves and to do things that are bigger than themselves. But because you are in a position that cripples you, you can't. So I thought that I'm raising this because I thought I needed just for us to close these questions, and because we have that setup that you have agreed to run about 4 DG and 5 o'clock, where we would have this kind of discussions and get to ask some difficult questions. But I thought that now we do this, and then what will be left of the afternoon session. So I would plead with you that we allow us to go and attend to our guests, and then we will come and attend to you as our guest at 5 o'clock at the Free State House. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. and I think that concludes it. You heard Dr. Busi. You're most welcome to join the Premier and his entourage at Dr. Ranzai Ndebela Stadium for lunch, that is, and at 5 p.m. at the White House, the State House. Thank you.
Maybe the winter was